Despite all the murder, Nightmare Hall sounds like a delightful university to go to. Hello strangers, I'm Ravenna and this is my class reading list. This is another challenge for the Booktubeathon and it's to basically base a class around a book that's on your TBR for the Booktubeathon. And I've chosen to go with The Twisted Ones by Scott Caulfield and Kia Breed-Wrisley. If you're unfamiliar with this is a rape novel. And I'm going to tie it into this reading class. So the class I've chosen to teach, potentially, is juvenile horror. Juvenile horror is what I like to call horror that is aimed at YA or younger audience. And to start with, we'll be starting with what really lodged juvenile horror, which is the Point Horror series. And well, the whole series could be considered an important investment into the tropes and just general weird things that happen in juvenile horror. I've chosen from the two notable writers that came from the Point Horror series. And those two writers are Stine, who's wrote more than Stephen King, as he likes to tell you. He sold more books than Stephen King too, as he likes to tell you. And Diane Hoh, who wrote individual stories in the Point Horror series, also wrote a whole series of itself called Nightmare Hall that was within the Point Horror brand. Books I would be requesting that you read The Funhouse, which is a delightful murder about adoption. That might have been a spoiler. And Silent Scream and The Roommate that deal with murder in a college setting. Then we have our sign, and I would suggest you read The Hitchhiker and The Girlfriend by him when it comes to point horror. And then I want you to go watch the Goosebumps film and think about the implications within the Goosebumps film. And then get back to me on your thoughts. And moving from the 90s fun that is point horrors, we have a modern series similar to point horror, Red Eye. The best book in Red Eye series has to be Frozen Charlotte by Alex Bell, which is superb and is actually really creepy and like superb horror. And then we have the bad books in the series, like Dark Hume by Tom Becker, that proves we are not as advanced as we would like to think we are, and that the 80s horror tropes are still there in play. And then we have Bad Bones, which is about don't do drugs, yo. Stay away from those juggies, dudes. Or if not, just find a cuss amulet and use that to get rid of your drug dealer problem. Seriously. And to tie this whole modern and new, we have the Five Nights at Freddy's novels, which are set in the mid-90s. Start with high school and then go to college, as the Americans like to call university. Obviously this comes from the video game Five Nights at Freddy's, the Twisted Ones. And the Silver Eyes come from Five Nights at Freddy. But the thing is about Five Nights at Freddy, the game, is that it's the lore that's the most interesting thing. And they have all these weird 90s, 80s things. In the actual books, you have all this weird 80s, 90s things, like using payphones and just beautiful, beautiful tropes that are so dominant in the point horrors, like in general horror series, such as parents, what parents? And an absence of any adult that's capable of doing anything properly, except to kill. And also creepy dolls. And also like creepy animated objects. And also ghosts. But also ghosts. It's a barrel of funs. And that brings us to what modern juvenile horror is. Weird 90s tropes coming back to get us. Because point horrors may not sell anymore, but they're just waiting to be unreleased. So that's my reading list. I hope you chose to take my class up. On like a serious note, like genuinely love point horrors, and like the Red Eye series has some issues, but I'm genuinely happy that it exists. And while the Twisted Ones plot makes so little sense, I enjoy it immensely, and it Yeah, it does remind me of point horrors a lot. Well, one, it's like set in the 90s, and it's just like other stuff that sometimes the way they talk and just like, it's a joyous thing. I enjoy it. Some people might not, but I have like a twisted take. Like, I don't think point horrors are good all the time. There are some good, really good point horrors, but most of them are quite bad. And as a bonus read, I give you Red Rain by R.L. Stine. This is technically an adult novel that he wrote a few years ago, but it reads exactly like a point horror. I found it in the YA section at my local library, and I wouldn't say they were wrong. The only difference between this is that it's got adult themes like sex, because we're children here, and adultery, and murder. And it's a little bit more graphic than any of the point horrors or Goosebumps were when it comes to that. But the main antagonist is children, so still really feels like a point horror or Goosebumps pop. It's written so juvenile. It's just like, oh, I was saying you want to be Stephen King, but you'll never be Stephen King, because even Stephen King at his most boring is still more adult than you. Surprisingly. I love trash horror, okay? A lot of the books on this list are kind of trash horror. But I'm being polite about it, and I won't tell you exactly who's trash and who's not. Fuzz and Charlotte is definitely not, though, and neither is Diane Hoh. I genuinely recommend them. I mean, Diane Hoh did sway sometimes a little bit, because, you know, the point horror format was easily into doing that. But she's still good. Still one of the best. So I will see you weirdos next time, where there won't be a creepy doll standing at my feet with a knife. Farewell. Mature. But what the hell's that? You know, me and Stella met in a class about juvenile horror.